Well, good morning, everyone. This is Jim Marzola with Business and Decision. Welcome again to another one of our top-line webcast series. Today's entitled, Don't Fire Your Marketing Department, Fire Them Up. We're going to walk through some exciting things that are happening in digital marketing, digital media marketing. And so again, welcome this morning to another edition of our of B&D's Top Line series. So let's look at what is happening in the market today. I did a presentation several months ago, and one of the things that we talked about was how customer experience is becoming the new competitive advantage. And you'll notice on this slide here that in the top three areas that really a year ago was on CEOs and CFOs' most important improvement areas. Third on the list is customer experience management. So how organizations and people engage with you and understand your brand and what you stand for is very important to them. And more they're becoming vocal in sharing their experiences in social media interactions. And so those organizations that truly can get in front of and have a strong, positive customer experience are the ones that are going to see greater returns on their investments. Also, one thing that I shared in a previous presentation was on the quality of customer experience truly does equal or increase your success and profitability. The percentage of people that increased that stopped doing business with a company after a negative customer experience, you'll see, went up dramatically over that 5-year period. And then also 86% of respondents commented that they would actually pay more for a better customer experience. So once again, how we're engaging with our customers is extremely important. So really, we're back to the reality of customer engagement or customer experience then is the name of the game. And so today, marketing and subsequently cross-channel marketing in particular is governed by these new rules, the customer experience. And so what we need to do as marketers is engage our customers in meaningful conversations, and we do that by executing campaigns across different channels, right? Web, email, mobile, social. When we deliver these messages and these offers, and then ultimately these experiences must be consistent and uniquely tailored to what our customer is expecting, their needs, their preferences, and their behaviors. So the experiences that are also content rich and relevant to those that are receiving our messages are going to stand out, especially in this digital world, right? So the first thing that is changing this engagement is digital screens and all of our access to our brands, the various brands in new and intimate ways, especially when it comes down to mobile. Digital then is really a definition of anything that is addressable, that you can have interaction with, and that creates a tremendous amount of data. In that sense, these digital screens and therefore mobile devices, which we've been using for a long time, really now hold the key to connecting with customers on a more intimate one-to-one level. Companies that will then take that ability to interact and engage and then provide truly pertinent, personalized messaging within that digital strategy is definitely going to drive a higher brand of advocates, loyalty, and subsequently the goal is more purchases. Secondly, information is really more fluid now and incredibly fluid. all of us, customers, are better informed, and as I mentioned earlier, we're becoming more vocal, more communicative on what our opinions, thoughts, and feelings are. So we as individuals can initiate a conversation or a communication, and as a business we can no longer ignore customers' inbound communications. So whether they come in via text messaging, the website, email, chat, we have to be responsive to these and no longer neglect even the customer's chosen method on which they want to hear from us. They're basically their opt-in permissions. So lastly then, now all of us, our brands, have to operate in a world where the customers truly are empowered and call the shots. Our customers are expecting a consistent, personalized experience that truly is delivered in the context of what they're looking for. Yet, like all of us, how many times as marketers we want to do that, yet we're frustrating our customers, our prospects, those that we're trying to engage with an overwhelming amount of disconnected and irrelevant communication. So really, in this age of digital marketing and working to become effective, we as marketers must engage our customers truly in meaningful conversations. So I'm going to go to our first poll and ask those that are participating to vote on, does your company have a formal customer experience process? So what that really means is, how you are truly, from the top down, there's a set method on which you're communicating, expressing, interacting with how your customers interact with your organization. So again, from the top down, does your organization truly have a formal customer experience process? So we'll open the lines up for a moment here, let everybody vote, and then we'll carry on. All right. So viewing the results, no, 100% so far there is no formal customer experience management. So the whole direction around cross-channel marketing, Adobe, who we're working on, this presentation is built around what Adobe's done in their campaign or marketing automation system. And so a number of months ago, they commissioned Forrester Research to do a survey around a particular maturity model for cross-channel marketing. And as you can see, most people believe that they are lacking in the ability to really pull all of this together in regards to technology, digital marketing, as well as analytics in a straightforward fashion. So as you see this on the screen, you can determine where you may fit in this process, or not necessarily you, but your organization, in how it fits in this particular maturity model. And also, we will have the slides available for those of you that are interested in receiving a copy. So, along with this understanding of where the consumers are, where we all are in engaging with brands, there really is also all these new interaction channels that are changing how we engage. So one of the things that to walk through a particular scenario that you may have done, whether it's electronics, could be apparel, shoes. But let's just walk through one of these examples. In this case, it's a gentleman, John, who wants to go and purchase some golf clubs. Before, John would probably go to a sports store, specialty store, take a look at some clubs, swing them, and then decide, does he want to purchase them or not. However, today that whole engagement is fragmented and fractured. So here's John. He's 32 years old with his wife, 2 kids, and he loves golf. Over the weekend, he watched a PGA tournament and decided that, he wants some new clubs. So first thing John does is not jump in the car and go down to the store. He gets on Facebook, updates his status, and then asks his friends for any kind of recommendations. He gets responses back saying that they love the new Nike clubs and sends him a link for review. He goes to his tablet, reads the reviews from Golf Magazine, and decides to check out the new clubs in person. So now he's already investigated, and so he could be 40, 60% already in his investigation on the purchase decision long before he steps into the store. When he gets into the store, he uses his phone to scan the barcode and now does some comparative shopping. He finds that he can get a discount online and makes the purchase. When he receives his email confirmation, it also has a coupon to play a local course if he writes a review. So you can see the whole concept of digital technology being connected really has fundamentally changed the way that we all interact when we're doing our purchases. Before, as marketers, we had really just to make a decision around print media, radio, TV. Now we have so many more options on how we are attempting to reach and engage with our customers, whether it's Facebook and Twitter, YouTube in regard to videos, tablets and smartphones and how information is presented on those, search functionality, emails, display ads, even crowdsourcing, e-commerce, online communities, and that's just what we know of today. So the list goes on and on. So how should we, as marketers, how can we make smart decisions to allocate resources across all these particular scenarios? So I'm going to ask another poll question here. What percentage of your marketing spend today is digital versus print? And so we'll open that up for the audience. So again, what is the percentage, if you know it, and I guess I didn't put that one on there to say don't know, but take a swag. What percentage of your marketing spend is digital versus print? And leave the voting open here for a moment, and then we'll carry on. All right, so we'll close that off. Looks like 80%, 50%. So there's a good shift in regard to how the spend is going away from print and more into digital. So with that, we're going to talk about what Adobe is doing in the area of campaign management, and really the concept is how to better engage with your customers, with your consumers. So it's all around this concept of cross-channel marketing. So Adobe Campaign is really really came about as a company called Neolane. Neolane started in 2001, based in France. It's a global organization, and recently was acquired by Adobe last year. And so what they provide is a campaign management platform that really it truly does redefine the way you can engage with each and every one of your customers. And that's not by just modifying the design of what you're sending out, the execution and the measurement of those campaigns across these channels, but really helping you to deliver those personalized offers, those messages, and really those experiences that are consistent and relevant across all of these channels. And we'll talk more about that. So whether it's email, direct mail, if you've got a call center that is both inbound and outbound calling or outbound calling, whether it's through the web or even point of sale as you're taking information there, on the web from a social perspective, even mobile short message systems, texting, and mobile apps are all channels on which you can communicate to your customers in a consistent way, and Adobe Campaign really is designed to do that. And they are a recognized leader in working by and with Gartner in the multi-channel campaign management Magic Quadrant, if you're familiar with that, where they're ranked as a visionary, and also in Forrester's Wave, their cross-channel campaign management wave, where they're ranked as a leader. So as we look at what's happening in the marketplace, there really still are four fundamental key challenges that are going on in the marketing space for us. Really, the first one is the need for speed, right? Everybody wants more, faster, quicker, better, and real-time customer engagement and insights, behavior is where it's at. And so, given the velocity and the frequency of customer interactions, we as marketers are not able to hesitate, right? There isn't an opportunity for us to have delay in our analysis and therefore the response that we're getting back to the customer on their interest requests, inquiries. Secondly, companies are drowning in this sea of information that we're collecting on our customers. You've probably heard the term big data. That's been bantered around a lot. So much of this data is coming in fragmented, collecting from a number of different channels, if we're even able to bring it in, and then it's really even in inconsistent formats and stored in different databases, so it's hard to bring that together to make useful work with. Then we've got all of our brands that are really more ways than not is driven by the customer. So their loyalty to us is fragmented, and so as they are more vocal, truly they're the ones that define our brand. So how we engage, interact, support, provide them with consistent quality information and engagement, their vote determines what our brand is like. And they're less likely to stay with you if they feel their customer experience is poor, which we talked about earlier. And then lastly is still this elusive thing called ROI, right? Return on investment. And as strange as it sounds, upwards of 90% of CEOs have a hard time trusting the numbers and the return that the CMO and the marketing department provides. And even more strange is that many of the chief marketing officers are somewhat disconnected even with the short and long-term goals of an organization. And so aligning and bringing together those brands are imperative. With every one side of the coin, there's another side of the coin. And so even in the midst of all of these challenges, there's three major disruptors that are taking place in the industry that create tremendous opportunity, right? So when there's change and chaos, there is also opportunity. And social media really is and has changed how we're communicating with one another. The second one really also is the mobile. We talked about that earlier. The mobile devices, tablets, handhelds, they're creating more intimate ways of connection. And as we talked about, being able to walk into a retail store, scan a barcode, and change the impact on the purchase process is right here and now. And then if as a marketer you layer on certain demographic local data, it's amazing what unique offers you can start to have at that mobile level. Then you look at this data deluge, right? The big data concept, where the Internet of Things and the digitization of everything is taking place. How is that going to affect business models out there? For instance, an insurance company asks you to share your driving behavior in order to reduce premiums. So now there's a little bit of say, crowd influence in regard to, how do you compare with others that are out there, is something that will significantly disrupt the way insurance is being done. I mean, just saw the news last night, this morning, here in Arizona, Phoenix, with Uber, and how the local taxi companies are trying to put stricter restrictions on what Uber does. And so that aspect of digitizing and making things digital to a cell phone has dramatically changed how a lot of us are calling for taxis and getting around in the various cities. So, with the combination of the social media, mobile devices, and this deluge of data, the big data, it really truly does continue to empower each one of us as a consumer. And so the power really is back, not back, but it is in the hands of the consumer. So how do we, as modern marketers, right, in this age of digital connection, really satisfy the demands of those customers? Well, as I mentioned earlier, really the focus is how to have a consistent message that's going to go across all of these channels in a campaign in a way that creates a relevant personal message. And that truly begins, you'll notice at the far left corner, with a master marketing record. And that's the key to being able to have a positive, solid foundation with the right content that then is going to be delivered in the right way through the various channels with your campaigns. So as I mentioned, in what we're talking about here is Adobe Campaign and this creation of this integrated customer profile. So once that is done, you now know what the various preferences are and how you're going to coordinate your outbound, which defines, right, outbound calling, emails, direct mail, could be a text message, as well as any inbound, how your customers are interacting with you. It could be over the web, through a blog, it could be Twitter, them calling into the call center, it could be at a kiosk that you might have set up, or a point of sale. All of that are ways in which your customers are interacting. And I've had many a time as we're working with clients and they have a call center, they may send out a direct mail piece to a customer. The customer will make a phone call to the call center, be on hold, and while on hold, go online and maybe try to get a chat session going on at the same time. and now are bombarded with 2 or 3 different ways of information that might be brought about to this customer. So how do you coordinate and manage all of that information and yet still adhere to a quality customer experience based on that individual that is contacting them? So another poll question I have for you this morning is does your company have truly a central profile, a master customer profile or a master data hub? So this will be our last question, poll question. So if you're getting a little concerned there about how many questions, this is it. So we'll be rolling on through. So does your company have a master customer profile? We'll wait for the answers to come through, and then we'll carry on. All right. So yes and no. So 50% in that category. So let's now look at why and how does what Adobe is doing, formerly Neolane, in this campaign area. And we're going to talk about 6 specific areas. The first one being visual campaign orchestration, which really makes it simple for us as marketers to design and manage marketing programs. And I'll be going through a little more detail in each one of these. That integrated customer profile we talked about really transforms your customer engagement with that single marketing view of the customer, preferences, interests, opt-ins, and that. The targeted segmentation really makes that cross-channel campaign as tightly integrated and effective and personalized, and we'll talk how that is done. Along with that, there's the email execution and deliverability, which from an email service providing, which is what a lot of us do, it really has the ability to boost your delivery rates and therefore then also your engagement. Real-time interaction is very powerful because it lets you design and execute really personalized one-to-one offers in real time. So in other words, based on what my preferences are, when I click on something and I continue to engage, a different and unique personalized offer is brought to me based on each step along the way of my interaction. And then of course the reporting. So how do you have an easy access to actionable information right away in real time on that campaign performance so that you can start really taking action on what's taking place. So as you can see in this diagram, it's a visual representation, and this is that campaign orchestration I was mentioning. And so what this really does is it allows you to have a visual canvas that you can design and manage all of your marketing communications and really built around these simple icons. And it's a drag and drop functionality so that you can decide what and who you want to target, and then based on what it is that you want to do, drag in an email, put in a Facebook page, a mobile text message, and whatever channels and the preferences and the interactions that you want to have at that time, and then literally click the start screen, and this workflow engine, you will actually see it working in real time right in front of you. So along with not only the visual design, you can manage the content. So whether it's in a print or it's email, the content is available to be interlinked with this, along with the scheduling, budgeting, and resource managements, all within one same area. The next one is what we talked about was that the integrated customer profile or the master data customer profile. And now through this particular area or interface, you're capturing not only the immediate interest, but the ongoing interest activities, and especially the interactions that your customer or prospect is having across all your channels, and you can start to get the patterns on what is the best way to reach them so that you can have better and smarter and more targeted campaigns. Now, what Adobe's also done is created integrations to the top CRM providers. So whether you have Salesforce, Microsoft Dynamics CRM, or Oracle, those can be integrated with inside Adobe Campaign to help all of your information and interactions for your marketing campaigns. We talked a little bit about email execution, and what's absolutely imperative is everything that we do, what we send out, the ability to achieve top delivery rates are going to strengthen our ability to interact and maintain a positive customer engagement with our clients. So what Adobe is done through their email execution and deliverability capability is to truly harness the personalized messaging and sends that are formatted on the particular device. So whether they're sitting on a 23-inch screen, a laptop, a tablet, a handheld mobile phone, it's going to render in a way that is best suited for that device. And so not only is it great that you can render all of this and you can have it relevant to the recipient, it still matters that it gets through. And so that's another area where Adobe has done extremely well, is achieved high deliverability for the emails that you're sending out as part of your cross-channel marketing. The other area that we want to talk about and mentioned earlier is this real-time interaction. And what this is it really allows you to centralize all of the offers that you want to personally deliver to each of the recipients in one place, whether it's on an inbound or an outbound basis. Some organizations, some other companies that provide marketing automation systems are able to do the delivery in either inbound or outbound, but not both. And so the ability to have a centralized catalog is going to allow you to design truly what's relevant in that next offer as the consumer, your customer, your prospect is continuing to engage with you in those particular different mediums. In other words, what might be best relevant on a cell phone as somebody is interacting with your organization. So at that point of when your customer is interacting with your organization, the Adobe Campaign catalog really feeds up the relevant information based on that customer profile, based on the information that you have on that individual, and then the next best offer really is brought about and done across all the channels. And that's the key, is that it's a relevant offer across all channels, so that whether it's digital print or an email send or a web offer, they're going to collide the same way and not be sending mixed messages and mixed offers to your clients. The targeted segmentation really allows you to focus and isolate and truly create that one-to-one personalization. And as you can see, that isolation or that targeting follows in line with the visual orchestration that we talked about earlier, and it's built around this graphical user interface. And you can see, number one, number two. If this happens, then send them to this particular workflow. And so from that centralized profile we talked about, maybe it's social media interests, or how somebody wants to be reached via a particular channel. Just send me email. Don't send me any paper mail, or send me paper mail. You have the ability to truly segment and target based on those individual preferences, and offer to large groups, entire groups, segmented groups. Then, with the ability, like we were able to do with integrating CRM systems, you can integrate third-party demographic data as part of that customer profile to really continue to define and target and segment your audiences for greater and greater results. Now, along with the ability to do all this, now that the information's in and you're interacting, how do you get information out? And this is in Adobe's, they call this operational reporting. You really can see how your campaigns are performing real time without a data analyst, and through a dashboard mechanism. And so it really allows you to monitor what you decide as your key metrics, whether it's budget, costs, delivery status, campaign return on investment, whatever those might be. You customize those, and that data set is available in real time as your campaigns are running. So really, in summarizing all of this, broken down into 5 key areas in this digital space on where Adobe Campaign can help you. The first is from a simplification standpoint, because all of these daily tasks are brought together in one single technology platform. And unlike traditional email service providers, you may hear the term ESPs, that's what it stands for, email service providers. The Adobe platform really was built as a marketing database, a marketing system, not to just send email, but truly to have that cross-channel connection of engagement with your customers. And so because it started as technically as a single code base, there isn't a lot of bolt-ons or changes that have had to be made because of acquisitions over time. Secondly, the ability to discover your customer needs through the interaction functionality really continues to allow you to tailor your message and your offers. The ability to have that central client or customer view really is that 360-degree element that you sometimes hear in CRM terminology, and it's really a 360-degree marketing view of your prospect, your customer. And now the ability to really gather data from up to 30 different sources, bring that into some kind of the reporting or analytics engine, really starts to give you smart data instead of just big data. And so the ability to bring all that together really starts to give you deeper and richer understanding of your customers. The ability to accelerate your marketing and allow you to have faster, more productive time to market campaigns. There's this ability to do things faster because it's all brought into one area. The graphical user interface, dragging and dropping, being able to do the designs of cross-channel campaigns with personalized messages, really are time-saving ways that allow marketers now to invest the time that they were doing before to try to pull all this together and use it in better ways for the organization. And so now your ability to significantly increase your involvement in automation for welcome journeys, maybe retention programs, as simple as birthday campaigns or even remarketing offers become much faster. Surveys, web offers, all because it's centralized. And transitioning then to what we're all trying to do is delight our customers. And by bringing together a connected, unified way that we're communicating across all channels, increases the opportunity that no matter how a customer or prospect engages with us, they're going to have the same experience and a consistent message with us. So whether these messages are coming in at the social, local, mobile level and is personalized on Facebook or these mobile applications, is equal to what they would see if they went to the website or got a chat session going with us. And what really happens now is even though the messaging may be relevant across all those channels, there's still a desire for trust by each of us. And you have the ability as a marketer now to really control what information and how that information is being used and what messages are being sent over a given period to your customers. And then lastly, it's all about creating value. Really, marketing needs to be held accountable for the efforts and the results. And if we can help simplify daily tasks, really discover what the customer wants, and accelerate how we're delighting and executing on the customers, it's lights out, because we at that point as marketers can really truly demonstrate the return on investment that we as marketers know is inherent and is there in the efforts and the work that we do. And so really, as you become more efficient, your team becomes more efficient, the response rates are going to increase, and absolutely you're going to generate more revenue at a lower cost for the organization. So just to sum that up, simplify your daily tasks. Adobe Campaign helps you discover your customers' needs, that customer hub. Accelerate your marketing, get things out faster, interaction, delight your customers because you've got the ability to do cross-channel marketing, experiences across all the way, and then of course the return on investment, create that value back for your organization. Now, I'm just going to quickly go through a couple slides here. Some organizations that we've worked with over time. As I mentioned, Neil Lane, Adobe Campaign's been around since 2001. B&D's been working with Adobe Campaign or Neil Lane since 2005. So a number of these organizations that you see up here, we've actually helped to implement. So these are some of the organizations that commented on ways to simplify their daily tasks. These organizations, especially Sephora, which is an organization we've done a lot of work with, really was able to intimately get to what the customer needs are. And if you go walk into a Sephora store, if you haven't in a long time, take a look at how they interact with you from tablets to different stations inside with inside Sephora. I think you'd be well pleased in how they're using customer data to really help their customers. Accelerating your marketing, you'll also see here again another way that Sephora used Adobe Campaign. We also helped Accor, one of the largest hospitality organizations headquartered out of Paris, be able to provide better communications. And then delighting your customers. You'll see here a number of organizations talking about the interaction rate, increased response rates, and being able to increase open rates by having truly personalized content. And then lastly, of course, we talked about the ultimate, which is creating value for your company. Barnes & Noble is a huge user for Adobe Campaign, and the amount of consolidated messaging and information that they have used Adobe Campaign for is phenomenal. So really, in summary, we're just bringing back to the fact that with Adobe Campaign, we started with cross-channel marketing, being able to have a consistent message that is going across the board, and where and how we can deliver on value and the like. So the last thing I want to do is just quickly mention where Adobe Campaign fits into Adobe's Marketing Cloud. I was going to talk a little bit about three of the areas that integrate together with that. One of them being Adobe Analytics, how you can bring together additional information on various ways that you are interacting with your data that's available from a web perspective. There's also Experience Manager, which really is a single area of really a supply chain of your digital assets and web content that can feed directly into Adobe Campaign, and it allows you a lot of agility that is associated with this single reservoir of all of your digital assets. And then lastly is Target, and this is really the focus on true A/B and multivariable testing, so that you're in a spot to know precisely what's working and what's not working in a very quick way, and be able to move in that direction. So with that, I'll close it out with any questions. We've only got I guess another minute or two. So if you have any questions, send them in. If I'm unable to answer them over the air, I'll send you an email back. Okay, with that, then we'll close out our session. Again, thank you for attending